Hey folks, this is Erik founder or co-founder of And Home with my wonderful wife Liz, and we are here today for our first happy hour and home.
Yes, we are.
And my guest host / partner in crime is Brian, who actually is the founder of Ingrained Baking. Brian, tell us a little about yourself.
Yeah, so I started Ingrained about 3 years ago. Just over a brunch party, and everyone had the pancakes and said they loved it. So it kind of sparked this idea to start using the pancake mix that I made throughout the years cooking and turn it into a product that we can sell to all of our friends in the neighborhood.
Awesome. And what is some of your background on, how do you get into becoming, the founder of Ingrained? Why even take that leap?
It just seemed like a good opportunity to start to take some of the things I learned. I was a pastry chef for 4 years, and in that time I developed a lot of my own recipes and ways to do things that are different from the Epicurious recipe you're going to find online. And it's that nice recipe that fits perfectly into a pan. You're not going to have extra batter. So really what I wanted to do was share that with people. And the pancakes were definitely a good way to start that.
Yeah. Now, as somebody who has had, I think, every single one of your pancake flavors, you've kind of ruined pancakes for us in a way. So both thank you for bringing that out, but also it kind of sucks. But no, in all seriousness, the pancakes are awesome. We do carry them here at And Home. Right now we have hot chocolate, we have the pumpkin spice, we have eggnog, and we have original. And then the confetti as well. So a good variety. And keep them on, they are seasonal, right? You're not making them all the time.
Right. Whatever you have left of pumpkin spice is all you're going to be able to get until next year.
Yeah. So that's it. So folks interested in pumpkin spice, come on down. We know there's some PSL lovers out there. So get your hands on those before they're gone. Before we jump in, I just want to make a quick comment. Brian and I aren't wearing masks. We know each other well. We've been in kind of our little social bubble, not going too crazy, taking all the proper precautions. So, this is a COVID-friendly environment. Don't want to frighten anybody that, here we are, crazy people without masks on. So we are all good in that regard. Mm-hmm. So, Brian, let's jump into it. So our first drink, and again, bear with us, this is episode 1, so this might go a little off the rails and get a little crazy, but that's okay.
It's not quite manicured yet.
No, it's not. We're getting there. Is a Rosemary Grapefruit Gin Spritz. So say that 10 times fast.
No, but Erik, aren't we doing this because we want to highlight one of the products you guys have here in the store?
Yeah.
Bitters tend to be one of those things that confuse people. They don't really know how to use it or when to use it. For me, I've tasted these bitters. I think it's a great product. But if you use too much, you could ruin a drink. You really just want to use a little bit to accent some of the flavors that you might put in the drink. So that's why I went with the drink that we have. It's going to be, like Erik said, the Grapefruit Rosemary Gin Spritz, because you have the floral, which is a lavender-based bitters in this sampler pack. So I think it'll be nice to take something that you may not have known how to use on your own, and to give you an idea for a drink that you can make at home.
Awesome. Yeah, and if you guys are interested, there's a few other flavors too besides the floral. We have orange, golden, which is I think a more traditional bitter, right, Brian?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the Virtue, which, how would you describe the Virtue?
That one I'm still working on a good recipe for. It's a little bit different. It is similar to an Angostura bitters, but it does have some more of the stronger floral notes. And
then you have cherry, which I think is pretty easy to incorporate into probably many things.
Yeah, you could elevate a Cosmo with that if you want to give it a little bit of a pinch. Think of it as you're adding a little bit of vinegar to your salad dressing. That's kind of what a bitters is going to do to your drink.
Yeah. Okay. Well, without further ado, let's give the people what they want and jump into this thing. So we'll start with the Rosemary Grapefruit Gin Spritz.
Perfect. Grab one of these cups down here. So I'm just going to fill my cocktail shaker about a third of the way with ice. We're going to shake this cocktail over ice.
Is there a song or anything that you like to say in your head when you're shaking cocktails?
I'm not much of a singer, Erik, so
okay.
No, I stick to just humming.
Just humming. Okay.
Yes. I'm going to take some gin here. I went with a dry gin, something that's not too floral or it's going to, be very heavy on the juniper. I'm going to go ahead and do 2 ounces of gin, followed up by 2 ounces of this fresh squeezed grapefruit juice. I actually squeezed 2 grapefruits and wound up with a lot more juice than I need. So you probably only need to do 1 at home.
And we know it is COVID, so we're not going to judge you if you throw maybe an extra shot in there. It's the holidays. You can get a little crazy. That's okay.
Yeah. Now, this last thing I added is something I cooked up at home as well. This is rosemary simple syrup. This is just equal parts sugar and water. I did a cup of each with 2 sprigs of rosemary. You bring it up to a boil to make sure that the sugar dissolves, and then turn it off and let it steep for about a half an hour. And I don't know if you guys at home can see, but it has a nice green tint to it. And that's going to kind of also play on our floral bitters, which has lavender in it.
Yeah.
Those ingredients go in. Shake it up.
You mentioned you skipped the gin today because you're going to be doing that. So.
Yes. Yeah, I only did legs.
Yeah, okay, makes sense.
So once you kind of see the outside of the shaker is frosted, you've gone far enough. Go ahead and take our glass. I put a nice sprig of rosemary inside to garnish. You want to be fancy. I'm also going to put a little bit more ice in the bottom of the cup. And we'll go ahead and pour that over. Let's see if you guys can see. Over the ice. Now, it's up to you at home what you want to do. I know some people like their beverages to have some bubbles, some don't. I'm going to leave this one without. You could just do a little splash.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to take 2 drops of our floral bitters, and you're good to go.
Is there a reason that you put the bitters in last?
Yeah, so you want to do last because in this drink, with all the ice, it's going to start melting. It's going to kind of carry the bitters into the drink, but you're still going to get that nose. See, you're not drinking the bitters as much as you are smelling it when you're drinking.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. So there we have it. That's the Rosemary Grapefruit Gin Spritz.
Spritz only if you add the seltzer.
Yes.
Which I did not.
So this is a spritzless spritz.
There you go.
And is there a non-alcoholic version that you could do this in? I know I'm putting you on a spot with that.
You know what? Instead of just leave out the gin, add a little bit more of the juice and the simple syrup. Okay. And then I would definitely use seltzer in that case to give it some more body. And you don't have to use bitters because bitters is also alcohol. I think it's that one is a 40% ABV. Mm-hmm. But a few drips on top shouldn't be too bad. Unless you want to leave it completely alcohol free, then just leave both of those out, the gin and the bitters.
Awesome. So there you have it. I'm going to give this guy a taste here. Let's see how he did.
Now, Eric isn't much of a gin drinker.
Hits a spot.
Yeah, it's good.
It's a spot.
Even on this cold winter day?
Cold winter day, it still hits a spot. I mean, I think, this would be great in the summer, but still, you know, like those PSL crazies out there who want the pumpkin all year round, you get a little summer all year round with this. Okay. Not a bad thing.
All right, good. Converted another one on the gin train.
There we go. And a little comment, if you're admiring this glass, this is made hand-blown glass, actually, by JFR, Jared. It's where the J comes from. He's out of Texas and is a product that we do carry in the store and home. So, admire the glass. It is one of my favorite things in the store for sure. All right, Brian.
What do we got next?
Spritz is done. Let's move on to our more traditional drink that everybody is probably pretty familiar with, the Old Fashioned.
Okay. If you're not familiar with it, this one is one of the most classic bourbon or whiskey drinks you can make. Sometimes I like to make it with rye because the spiciness of the rye will kind of counteract some of the sugar that you get from the beginning of the process of the drink. Yeah. We'll go ahead and jump right in so you guys know what I'm talking about. There are a few variants on how to make this drink. I like drinks that are super fresh. Thus, we have our rosemary sprig. I'm going to start this off with a fresh sliced orange. And you can use a sugar cube if you can find them. You can use like a little bit of brown sugar, some turbinado sugar. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to muddle these two together. Now, muddling is the process of combining your ingredients, crushing some fruit. Maybe you're going to make a mojito, so you're going to do like mint and blueberries to kind of just wake all the flavors up and get it going. Another thing that I like to do with this is I'm going to take our orange bitters. And I'll go ahead and drop some in right away. And that's going to get the flavor process going and infused in with that orange.
This is a little bit different than the spritz where we're adding it on top. This, we're going for the gusto. It's getting
Yeah, absolutely. This is going to be something that, you can go a little bit heavier on the bitters. And using something like the orange bitters, you have the orange peel. It's something that isn't going to be overkill. When you did the lavender bitters, that's something that's a really strong flavor that could really quickly overpower the drink. So you making it at home would think, man, Brian doesn't know how to make a beverage, but
the thought crossed my mind, but then I had your spritz.
And it just could be that there's too much bitters in there, so it's really to taste. Okay. On top of that, we're going to go ahead and add a hefty 2 ounces of bourbon right on top. Yeah, this is a boozy drink. This is going to really warm you up. And we're going to go ahead and stir.
Today's theme is fire and ice. You get a little bit of coolness here, and then heat back up with the old fashioned.
Now, one of the things you're taught in bartender school, which I've never been to, but they tell me, you're supposed to stir your drink 20 times to the right and 20 times to the left, and I lost count. Okay. That's why I didn't go to school.
In Australia, I think you go left and then right.
Do you?
Yeah, that's what I hear.
So that will help cool down the drink efficiently. Yeah. Since we're not shaking it, you tend not to shake your darker spirits because it can break down some of the essential oils that are already in there. Awesome. This one, I'm going to go ahead and take some orange peel and smack it so that the zest wakes up. Go ahead and put some right on top. And there you go.
Yeah, I guess I'm tasting this one too.
Well, I hope
I have the hardest job here, I mean, somebody's got to keep Brian company, do the tasting, so all right, I'll take one for the team. Oh, yeah. It's good.
I'll do it.
It's a spot.
All right, very good.
Warmed back up after my little spritz there, so that was good.
Perfect.
Cool. All right, Brian, anything else that you want to add? Any other tips or tricks for the average bartender at home trying to impress their friends these holidays?
I would, if you're not familiar with bartending and making a lot of drinks to order, keep a pad and paper next to you so you can kind of write down your recipes. You don't have to be like this rock star hero, Just do something that's nice and light, that's not going to be too complicated. I know an old fashioned's not necessarily light, but it's something that you don't have to put too much effort into. You're not making a simple syrup that you have to cook and boil and then cool down. Yeah. I would just don't do too much. Keep it nice and light, and don't forget you want to use nice fresh ingredients. Citrus is great in drinks. They say that lemon and lime is kind of like the salt and pepper of the bartender's kit. Yeah. So keep some nice citrus on hand. You'll be good to go.
Awesome. And the best bartender's friend is really that tip jar. So family friends are out, you just throw that tip jar out, and after a few drinks, you make a little side cash on the way.
There you go.
Cool. Awesome. Well, thanks, Brian, for coming on. I've had a lot of fun today. Once again, guys, Brian is the founder of Ingrained Baking Co and Home. This is our first episode of Happy Hour and Home. We hope you enjoyed it. And we will post this online, so check it out. On our website, we'll have the recipes in case you forget or weren't paying attention. You can go back later. It'll all be there. So thanks, guys, for listening, and see you next time.
Thanks, guys.